I never understood how much love you could have. It's love at first sight, for a grandchild. And I never realized, how much you could care for a grandchild and, want for them and want the best for them and, hope they're happy and successful and succeed in life and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So.
Yep. That's powerful. My name is Derek Hines, and I am the managing partner here at Gaddis Premier Wealth Advisors. And our objective with these first several podcasts is just to provide a little bit of an introduction and some background to who we are as a firm and who we are as partners and individuals. So I'm here today with one of our partners, Teresa Adams.
Hi, Derek.
Teresa, how are you?
I'm good, Derek. Thank you.
Good. Well, I really appreciate you doing this.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So can you give us a little just a kind of introduction into what you do for the firm?
So I am a financial advisor with the firm. I'm also one of the partners as well. We have 5 partners. So one of the original 4, we just added a 5th one. So so exciting times. We're really growing and expanding. So
Yep. Excellent. Well, it has been, it really has been an honor being a partner with you.
It has. It was tough work getting here, but we're here and it's been great and there's no looking back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, awesome. Well, I think you recently went on a vacation, didn't you?
I did. So one of my many trips to the beach. So we went to Perdido Key, and usually those beach trips are with family. So it's good quality time with my family, my sisters and their spouses, and my dad went this time. And so just good quality time and to relax and have fun. So
Yeah. So have you always? So where is that specifically?
So Perdido Key is just right over the border in Florida, off of Gulf Shores, Alabama. So it's Gulf Shores and then Perdido Key. So
Is that someplace you've gone to a lot in the past? Is that like a place you normally go?
Yeah. So we started out probably 15 years ago, taking these family vacations, and we would go into Destin. Our kids were younger, and so we would go into Destin. But as we started having grandchildren, last year we had 27 go, and we stay in a big house. So as our family got larger and our kids got younger, the grandkids, it was just a couple hours closer to go to Gulf Shores, and so we started making that little trek, and we like it. It's a nice place to have all your family and be together.
27 people in one house.
Yes.
So what is what's the most what's the first thing that comes to mind or most memorable moment from a trip?
Well, just amazing that we all get along. My sisters and husbands, we're all very close. The kids and the grandkids, they're all very close. We just have a good time. There's no fighting, arguing. There's, it's just a really great time. And so my kids get to spend time with their siblings, and all the siblings get to spend time with cousins, and then the grandkids, So, we just like to get them together, a couple times a year, and so they can enjoy each other.
Yeah.
So we're all spread out. Most of my family's in Louisiana, so which is where I'm from, and so so we get together and do that.
Yeah. That's incredible. They all get along.
Yeah, it is. So, and a lot of them are, similar in age, especially the grandchildren are similar, ages. And so they have a good time. So we try to make it fun for them. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I bet those are good trips. We took a trip to Gulf Shores one year, and it was fun. We stayed in a condo.
Yeah.
I think the house would be more more our style.
Yeah. So staying in the house, 10 bedrooms, 10 and a half baths. There's a bed for everybody. There's a bathroom. There's some areas for the family, each family to kind of get together, or, we just let the kids run wild. So.
So let's get into your story. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in the industry. Your progression to being a financial advisor.
Well, it was a winding road, I can tell you that. So I started in 1999 at Edward Jones. I was a branch office administrator in Denison, Texas, and had no clue of what that job entailed, never been in the financial industry at all. And so I've worked since I was 15 years old, and I've been in positions of leadership and that type of thing at probably 16 years old, I was opening and closing a drugstore. And now I think about, wow,
Yeah.
who would trust a 16-year-old with drugs, and opening and closing a drugstore
Yeah.
and, making deposits and things like that. But
Yeah. Was that in Louisiana?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So all of my sisters, I have 3 sisters, and we all worked for the same drugstore.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, that poor man, he probably felt sorry for my little family. But anyway, it was just kind of a progression though. But when I got to Edward Jones, I was curious about the financial industry and wanted to learn. And it's a great place to learn. They offer great training, of course. But just over the years, I spent 11 years working with clients and things like that. And I had the desire during that time to become a financial advisor, but my kids were in high school and we were going and doing. I laugh now. I don't think my husband and I really ever saw each other one-on-one. One of us was with 1 kid or 2 kids, or we were always going somewhere or doing something. But so I just really didn't have the time to commit to studying and to become licensed and everything. And then an opportunity opened up. I won't tell you how old I was, but it was late in life to where Edward Jones would hire me as a financial advisor. And so I took that opportunity and never looked back. It's been a great career, particularly for women. It's a great industry to be in, even though it's dominated by men for the most part. But I think that's my passion, is to work with women and empower them, with their finances and things like that. It's not rocket science. You just have to work with them and explain things to them and help draw out what their goals are for retirement and then how to live in retirement.
Yeah. I was when you were talking about women being in the industry. I think you guys have us outnumbered.
Well, now we do
with Leanne coming on.
Now we do.
Yeah, as sort of a partner group. Yeah, we're definitely outnumbered.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
Yeah, so it is a great industry for women. I wish more women would look into it.
Yeah.
But I think about that was not a career path that many of my friends thought about or anything. A lot of them went into banking. That's a little different, but as far as advising and things like that, with finances and retirement, that's just nobody offered that at the time. So
yeah. So what's the what's the passion point around just sort of helping or advising women?
Well, I think typical role is the husband handles the finances and that type of thing. But
I can tell you in my house that is not the typical role, even though I'm the advisor.
Yeah. Well, so early in our marriage, we started out doing that. And then my husband came from a family who paid every bill on time, in full, and then you have 3 kids and you're trying to juggle 2 salaries, and I had to take that away from him.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to juggle money to make it work, so I took that away from him. But I think women is stereotyped, that the husband or the man in the relationship handles everything, and then something happens and they're lost. They don't know what to do, who to turn to, and I feel sad when that happens, and so I try to encourage females or wives to come in and with their husbands if there's joint accounts or whatever, or just come in if the husband has just an IRA by himself. You need to know what's going to happen if your husband is out of the picture. So
and that's so unfortunate. So often, more times than not, we see that in our industry.
That's right.
Where one spouse predeceases the other, and they're the ones that took care of the money. That's
right.
And they don't know anything.
Yep. And not even just death or incapacitation, of the male, but divorce. There's divorce is so prevalent in our, area of our life today. It's easy to not take your commitment to God seriously. The laws make it too easy. So I'm older than Carol, so I'm just planning on dying before Carol. So the one that manages the money. That's a good plan, but it doesn't always work out like that. So but no, that really is my passion, to work with women, and I work with a lot of people, but I think women appreciate and I think that gives them a sense of power, not power, but, just control, that they know what things are happening and
Yeah.
where it's going.
Yeah, and I think it is appropriate to use the word power, but like it's like an empowerment, right? So
Right.
you like to sort of empower
Yeah.
women in their finances.
Yeah.
I think that's fascinating.
Good.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your education. Did you go to school anywhere?
I did not. College was not something that was, we weren't encouraged to go to college.
Okay.
Like I said, I started working at 15 years old. I was
Mm-hmm.
married at 18. I worked forever. I took 2 years off when my daughter was born. Well, no, I take that back. I did not take 2 years off. I took 2 years off when we moved from Louisiana to Texas. When my daughter was born, I decided to leave the industry that I was in and open my own business. So I had a small retail store, children's boutique.
Yeah.
It was mainly so I'd have clothes for my daughter. But I enjoyed that too. My mother-in-law worked with me in that. She had never worked outside the home.
Yeah.
And so that was something fun for her, and we enjoyed it. And then, recession came, and that was the end of that. People don't buy cute little smock clothes and things like that when there's a recession. They put them in play clothes.
Yeah. Well, that's neat. So you've always kind of been a little more entrepreneurial.
Yes.
Like wanted to own a business or be a...
Yeah, and that really wasn't encouraged by my parents or anything. They were supportive, but, it wasn't something that we talked about in the home or anything like that. It was... both of my parents worked very hard and retired, and so that's all I really knew. Now my husband, went to college at Louisiana Tech and graduated, had a degree in business administration, and so he was the breadwinner of the home, during all that, and I just worked to, I don't know, have gas money. I don't know, because I didn't make much money, but at that time it requires two incomes, and so I've just always worked and don't think I could not work. I'm trying to wrap my arms around that, retirement and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't see it really working well for me. So,
well, that's one thing I love about the industry is you don't have to have like a college degree.
That's correct.
Right? You don't have to have
right.
Sort of that educational background to take your test, pass your test, and be successful.
That's right.
That's one thing. I went to college. I really enjoyed my college career, but I like the fact that I don't have to have it for what we do.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of naysayers for me, particularly at the stage of life I was in, and then not having a college degree and that type of thing. But they were wrong. So I've been able to, I consider myself fairly successful in what I've been able to accomplish, and with no college degree, but there's a lot of other opportunities for people without college degrees. So
So you mentioned your daughter. I know you have a son or sons. Tell us about your kids.
So
how many kids do you have?
3 children, and I have 2 sons and a daughter. So boy, girl, boy, and both of my boys are firefighters and paramedics, and not something as a mother you want your child to do, be a first responder. When people running out of a building on fire, they're running in. And so it's, but they're passionate about it. And so that makes me confident in their skills and their capabilities.
Yes.
I always say if I'm ever in a wreck, I want them to be a responder, because they are very passionate about what they do. And I think it's a noble profession, and they're good at it. So,
do you have any of that in your family, or what kind of drew them to?
No, we really didn't have anybody in first responders, or really anybody that served in the military or anything like that. My oldest son, started his career, and then my younger son just kind of followed the path and saw what an opportunity it was, and they could take early retirement and go have another career and that type of thing. And there's time off and all kinds of stuff, but all kinds of reasons they love it. But it is hard work, and they have been through some difficult times and
I can imagine.
Experienced difficult things in their careers. Particularly, it's always sad when there's an incident, but when children are involved, that tugs at their heart. And so, pray for them that they, can endure and come through it on the other end without
Yeah.
being, crazy in the head or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think, like, as they do their job, where do you think they get strength, or what helps them to endure?
Well, they have very supportive families.
Mm-hmm.
Both of my daughter-in-laws are extremely supportive of what they do, and they love the family time that they are afforded. They work shift work, but we all try to support them in what they do, and it's like I say, I think our communities are very appreciative of the
Mm-hmm.
work they do. Particularly in the firefighting, in so many areas we're seeing, defund the police and things like that. That is not
Yeah.
the case for
Firefighters.
firefighters or really police in our area. I mean, that's other cities, but I think everybody's very appreciative of the work they do and the hard work they put in.
Yeah.
I always tease them about, they're on shift and they're watching movies and they've seen all the latest movies. When do y'all work?
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of thing. But there's plenty of work that they get done, and so
Yeah.
but
Yeah, well, they have to, they're paid to be available,
yes,
right?
and,
If an emergency happens,
yeah.
they've,
And it is a true brotherhood. They are,
Yeah.
They're comrades or they're partners, and they socialize together and things like that. So, and I think that's important
Yeah.
to know who's got your back and you know a lot about them. So
yeah,
how
that's
they
awesome.
handle stress and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we were kind of considering the merger, bringing the firms together, what were some of the things that you thought would be of benefit of merging our firms?
Well, so I've mentioned my age a couple of times, but I'm not going to tell you how old I am. But I started my career fairly late as far as being a financial advisor. I started in 1999 with Edward Jones and did 11 years as office administrator, and then decided to become a financial advisor. So I've been an advisor for 12 years now, and so I guess succession planning, being sure that we have people in place
Yep.
that if and when I do decide to step away, that there will be people there to take care of my existing clients and
Yes.
and that kind of thing. And we strive to have multi-generational clients. So I'm working with the parents or the grandparents and the parents and the children are starting to come into play now, and so it's really important to me to continue that continuity.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think that's one of the benefits that we all saw was
Yeah.
the ability to make sure that our clients are served if and when something ever does happen to us.
Yep.
Yeah, and trying to our clients hold generational values or being generational is one of their values, because we
Yes.
a lot of times we serve grandmother, mom and dad, the kids, maybe the grandkids.
Yep.
So really helping our firm reflect those values.
Right. Yep. So.
When you consider your faith, has your faith influenced how you run a business or how you interact?
Well, I appreciate the fact that the clients that we do work with, that it's easy for me to share my faith with them. I think we attract like-minded people.
Yep.
And so, if we're having a conversation or whatever, it's easy for me to imply that, God is in control and things like that. We control what we can control, but, some of it we got to let go, and it's in God's hands. And as a matter of fact, I talked to a client today, and he mentioned the concerns with what's going on with the war in Israel and everything.
Yeah.
He said, but he had a great little book. He knows how it ends, so he's confident
That's
in
great.
that. And so I said I agree, I agree totally 100%. But yeah, I mean, I think our faith allows us to. So in Matthew 5 it says to be salt and light, and so it puts us in a position to where we can witness, and share our faith with clients that that are. They're usually Christians as well, but it also gives us an opportunity to show our Christianity to other people who are not.
Yeah, I love that, and I've had several instances where the encouragement has kind of come from the client.
Yeah.
I remember there's so much that's happened over the past 2 or 3 years. It's hard to remember exactly what the instance was that caused this, but I remember I was calling a client and, I was trying to reassure them of, what was going on, what was happening. And before we got off the call, she was like, Derek, let me pray for you.
Yeah.
And man, that just meant so much to me.
It does. So, yeah, I always tell my clients, and I'm sometimes I'm not sure about where they are in their faith and that
Yeah.
type of thing. And so, I just tell them I'm optimistic. I'm a half glass kind of full, kind of person. And, if they're, worried about what's going on, about every little thing, it's, let's try to look for something good in this situation.
Yeah.
And, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So do you think, exercising your faith in that manner, do you think it's a benefit or a detriment to how we
I've
operate?
only ever seen it as a benefit. I've never had
Yeah.
anyone say, "Please don't," mention or try to share your faith with me, or,
Yeah.
So I think God puts us in positions to where we're able to do
Yeah.
share that and bring people to us that we either could witness to or share our faith with. So
Yeah. I think that's great. Are there, so kind of transitioning into, we talked about how we, how our firm is essentially reflective of some of our clients' values,
Yes.
One being that generational value. Are there any core values that you have, core values, beliefs, that you live your life by?
Well, yeah, I mean, so, I always try to be kind,
Yeah.
that type of thing. And,
Yeah.
the golden rule, do unto others as, you want them to do unto you. And
Yeah.
so, I don't think you get anywhere by being mean or hateful or anything like that. So I try to be kind and happy and, just positive
Yeah.
type of thing. So,
Yeah. That's funny. I know you probably haven't watched the podcast, the first one that we did,
no.
but kind was
Yeah.
something that I used. I used the word kind.
Yeah, I've got a big plaque on my desk. It says "Be kind,"
Yeah.
type of thing. And so
Yep.
it's not hard to do.
No.
And I know there's situations and times when people get upset and things might get out of control. And
Yeah.
I've had a client be ugly, and I wanted to be ugly back, but
Yeah.
it's not going to help them, and it's not going to help me down
Yeah.
the road. So
Yep.
I just realize it's usually the situation or the way they feel at the moment. So
Yes.
we try to step back and let them vent and try to turn it into a positive. But
Yeah.
our industry is it's not a very people are not very appreciative all the time
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
we do. So,
Yep.
but
Well, most of the times we're dealing with people's life savings.
that's right. Yeah, we
And so-
their largest investment. So we have the bulk of their money. So I get it. I understand. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about the next 5 or 10 years, what are some of your goals for the next 5 or 10 years?
Well, so I mean, obviously, I'd like to continue to be successful in my career. I'm still, in full working mode, and I intend to do that, for a number of years, as long as I can. And but I'd like to, travel a little more, and
Yeah.
really inside the United States. I mean, I joke about we only take beach vacations, but
Yeah.
I do have an interest in going other places. It's just beach always kind of takes a priority, but
Yeah.
I'd like to travel more, and I have been involved in our community. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And I've served my time. I served 2 terms on city council and was involved in the community, and
Yeah.
continue to serve on the economic development
Okay.
in Denison. And it's very fascinating
Yeah.
position to be in, and
Yeah.
with all the opportunities that we have now in our area. But just try to get back where I can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
but
I think that's great. Well, as you were speaking and talking about traveling more, I just remembered you took a trip to Israel.
I did.
How long ago?
Yeah, so it was a year ago in May.
Okay.
Very moving trip.
Yeah.
It was not a relaxing trip or anything like that. We were go, but in light of what's going on right now, it was an eye opener for sure. And
Yeah.
and to people say, we walked on the land that Jesus walked in, and so it's a very humbling experience. So
Yeah.
I would recommend it to anybody. Not today, but
Yeah.
but you should go. It should be on your bucket list.
Yeah. Well, when you think about like traveling in the coming years, like what are some big trips, like some big.
Well, my husband would like to go to Australia. I don't know that that's a thing, but we would like to go to Scotland. Our youngest son, a firefighter, but he also is in the bagpipe band
Nice.
for the fire department, and so they want to take a big trip to Scotland, and I think that would be something that we'd really enjoy. So
Yeah, I bet that would be fun.
so I think that's 2 years away. So I'm saving my pennies.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to talk to Carol. Spent some time in Scotland.
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
college,
sure, yeah.
traveling or studying abroad.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that would be fun. But
Yeah, she's still trying to get us to get some of those Highland cows.
Oh,
those
yeah.
little hairy Highland cows.
well, when you see your youngest son in a kilt
Playing the bagpipes.
and a skirt, it's kind of funny. But he
Yeah.
carries it pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a little handbag and everything.
Yeah.
So so when you're through that, I'll need to borrow it.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's
Oh,
fun.
that's funny. Any books you like to read, or any things you'd recommend our
Well,
listeners listen to?
I am not a huge reader, but I did run across, and I wrote these down because I couldn't remember the names of them. Hang on one second. Maybe I didn't write them down, but I'm not a huge reader. But usually there are things, books that encourage you to make a difference in the world.
Sure. Yeah.
Type of thing, and ways. I'm always looking for ways to be important to someone in some way.
Yeah.
So that's the type of
Yeah.
things that I read. So.
Excellent. So let's think about. So there's only three more. So three more
Okay,
questions,
okay.
and one is the next two are kind of looking forward and looking back.
Okay.
So if you were to look forward in the future, 10 years, so is there something that your future self would want to tell you today?
Well, I think I would have, for my future self, I probably would have said, enjoy your younger self. Three children,
Mm-hmm.
two, both my husband and I had a career and that type of thing. You're just busy doing life, that type of thing. And so I would say, slow down, and try to enjoy what you have.
Yeah.
My grandkids are really important to me. That's right. I didn't even talk about my grandkids other than I have 6. But it's easier to spend time with them because the time is available to me. But I would make time to spend with my kids, and that's kind of one thing with my career. I was able to take that time a lot sometimes, and be away on their events, and be at their football games and soccer games and things like that. I think it's important to be seen at those games. They're looking for you.
They remember.
They're looking for you. And I remember when I was growing up, my mother was a single mother and 4 girls, and that was not an opportunity that was afforded to her. And so she made it a point in her later life to be there for her grandkids.
Yeah.
And that was important because they were looking for their mama in the stands,
Yes.
kind of thing. So so they look for me in the stands too. So I try to attend their events, and as many as I can with 6 of them spread out.
Yeah,
So.
it's very important to them.
Yeah.
So let's pause for a second. So tell us about your grandkids. How ages, names?
Yeah, so I have 6 grandkids. So my oldest son has 2 daughters, Brady and Allie, and they're 12 and 9, soon to be 10. And then my daughter has 2 children, a 14-year-old Logan, and then Aniston, who is 9, who will soon to be 10. And then my youngest son has Kelton, who is 14. And then we have Ryan, who's a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So 5 to 14.
God bless those 5-year-olds.
Yeah. So my son is paying for his raising. His 5-year-old acts just like him.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but that's what I tell my daughter-in-laws. No give backs. Nope.
Yep. It's fun being grandparents.
Yep.
I think it's some of our parents say they would, if they knew how fun
Yes.
grandparenting was, they would skip they would skip the
Yeah,
parenting part.
Yeah, my daughter always said, I'll tell the kids bye, make a big deal about it. She goes, "What about me, Mom?" And I'm going like, "What about you?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so being a grandparent is probably one of the biggest things in my life.
Yeah.
And I never understood how much love you could have. It's love at first sight,
Yeah.
for a grandchild. And I never realized, how much you could care for a grandchild and,
Yeah.
Want for them and want the best for them and,
Yeah.
hope they're happy and successful and succeed in life
Yes.
and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So,
Yep. That's powerful. All right. So if you were able to say something to yourself 10 or 20 years ago, so looking back, what would that be?
well, I probably would have taken myself a little more seriously. I mean, I consider myself just a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
And I have something to offer.
Of course.
But that wasn't. I didn't have that type of self-worth back then. I was just a mom doing what I could do to survive and get through the next day and get all my kids to school and that type of thing. But I would say I would have done a little more inner reflecting to say you do have something to offer and be proud of what you've accomplished and so far and encourage other people to to see the good in themselves, to see, and it's not that I'm good. I'm not saying that, but I do have something to offer.
Yeah, of course.
But,
that's a powerful realization.
Yeah, I remember when I was being approached to serve on city council in Denison, and I said, "Why me?" And they said, "Why not you? You're an entrepreneur. You're a parent. You're a grandparent. You're participate." And I'm going, "Oh, hey." Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, why not me?
That's right. So that would be probably the most thing I would say is, give yourself some grace.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Lastly, what's one takeaway that you'd like for our listeners to walk away from?
I would say probably in the midst of all the turmoil that we're in, is that just try to make a difference in the world. Just, do something every day. Try to make a difference in the world, Just, it can be done. And they say one person can't do it alone, but no. But we all can collectively together, make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. Well, Teresa, I've really enjoyed our time.
Well, Derek,
I knew, we haven't talked about a lot of this stuff. And I figured some, things would come out that I didn't know. And you
didn't make any notes though, so
I did not. I made no notes. So it's all this is all private between us and the
rest of the world.
The three cameras around us and everyone listening.
That's right.
But I really enjoyed listening to your passion for community, your passion to see women empowered.
Yeah.
And even hearing all of the things that you've had to overcome in life to get you where you're at. So thank you very much for your time. And
I appreciate it.
Yep. And again, I'm Derek Hines, and this is Teresa Adams, and we're partners here at Gaddis Premier. Thank you for listening.